Hi everyone and welcome back to Meghan and Harry Tales. I'm Adrian and today we're diving deep into a topic that's igniting conversations across the UK and beyond. Prince William is preparing for kingship without his brother Harry, but this isn't just a strategic choice. It's a cold, calculated exclusion, and it says more about William than it does about Harry. Once seen as a tight-knit pair bonded by tragedy, William and Harry now stand on opposite ends of the world, figuratively and literally. But what caused this rupture? And more importantly, why is William so determined to erase Harry from the future of the monarchy? In this video we'll unpack William's rising reputation as the Ice Prince, explore the human cost of his ambition, and challenge the royal narrative that paints Harry as the problem. Because here's the truth. A family that turns its back on one of its own, especially someone like Prince Harry, isn't modernizing, it's rotting from within. Let's begin. Let's get one thing straight. No one forced Prince William to cut Harry out of his royal future. This was a deliberate choice, driven not by necessity but by resentment and ego. According to royal commentator Jenny Bond, "I don't think Harry figures in William's plans at all." That may be accurate, but it's also deeply telling. Why not? What's stopping the so-called future king from reconciling with the one person who could have stood beside him with credibility, warmth and lived experience? William didn't just give up on his brother. He chose to move forward without even trying to mend the relationship. This is a man who once declared, "We are very much not a racist family." But when Harry and Meghan shared how institutional racism and relentless tabloid cruelty drove them to the brink, William did nothing. Not a private apology, not a gesture of compassion. Nothing but cold palace silence. For a future king who claims to be forward-thinking and in touch with modern Britain, his actions tell a different story. Britain is multicultural, it's dynamic, it wants openness and accountability. But William, he represents the old guard, cloaked in a hoodie and pretending to be progressive. And what's worse, he's rewriting history, recasting Harry not as the loving, loyal brother who stood with him through grief and service, but as a problem to be edited out. Is that leadership, or is that just cowardice with a crown? Prince Harry wasn't just William's younger brother. He was his ally, his wingman. The one person in the royal household who could speak to him without fear of protocol or press leaks. Together, they were Diana's boys, bonded in a way no one else could understand. But as the years passed and William became increasingly beholden to the institution, Harry remained emotionally grounded, a human counterbalance to William's rigidity. Harry didn't throw away his relationship with his brother, he begged for understanding. Time and again, Harry tried to raise concerns about royal press strategies that fed Meghan to the wolves to protect others, and time and again he was shut down. William, instead of standing up for his brother, fell in line with palace advisors who treated Harry like a PR liability. Imagine how things could have been different. Harry, a decorated veteran, would have brought unmatched military authenticity to a modern monarchy. He could have been the people's prince, connecting the crown with younger, more diverse communities. He was globally respected, especially for founding the Invictus Games. But instead of empowering his brother, William stood back and watched the press tear Harry apart, all to preserve his own image. And now? He's pretending Harry never mattered. That's not a future king. That's a man who squandered the most valuable relationship he had. When you listen to royal briefings or watch Buckingham Palace's social media feeds, one thing becomes clear. Prince William is orchestrating a very specific kind of narrative. One where he's the modern responsible heir and Harry simply doesn't exist. Take the recent Armed Forces Day tribute. The royal family released a polished video celebrating military service. William featured heavily, as did Princess Anne and King Charles. But Harry, the only royal who served in active combat, was completely absent. Let's be very clear here. That wasn't an accident. It was a message. The institution is trying to erase Harry from public memory. But what does that say about William? The same man who smiled proudly beside Harry as he returned from Afghanistan now turns a blind eye to his decade of service. It's more than just political. It's personal. William seems determined to punish Harry for stepping away, not because Harry disgraced the family, but because he exposed the rot within it. Harry didn't burn the bridge, he simply refused to walk the same path. And for that, William has chosen vengeance over reconciliation. He has chosen silence over brotherhood. He has chosen image over integrity. What kind of king does that make him? The monarchy claims to be modernizing, but William's vision of the future looks more like a return to aristocratic elitism than progress. He's reportedly looking to bring cousins like Zara Tindall into the fold, not because they're qualified, but because they're safe. They don't ask uncomfortable questions. They don't challenge the institution. They fit the mould. Zara, for instance, is being eyed to take on more duties in the racing world. And while she may be competent, this sudden pivot to extended family shows one thing clearly. William is more comfortable surrounding himself with people who won't rock the boat, even if it means sidelining the most experienced and impactful members of his generation. Harry has done more for veterans and wounded soldiers than any royal of his era. Meghan brought in fresh energy, diverse voices and a global audience, but they're both gone. And William is doubling down on old-school values, wrapped in a thin veil of modern PR. This isn't a streamlined monarchy, it's a sanitized one, scrubbed of authenticity, cleansed of challenge and ultimately doomed to fade into irrelevance. While William projects control and composure, Harry has become the family's conscience, the one who dared to speak when everyone else stayed silent. He spoke out about racism, about mental health, about the trauma of losing a mother and being told to smile for cameras days later. And what did he get in return? Exile. Harry is far from perfect, but he's real. He was the only one brave enough to admit that the system was failing, not just his wife, but the public who once looked to the royals for inspiration. And William? He played it safe. He distanced himself. He chose the crown over his brother. In doing so, he revealed what matters most to him: power over principle. Now Harry is thriving on his own terms, building a life of purpose, surrounded by people who value him. He doesn't need the palace to define his worth. But that doesn't change the fact that his own brother, the man who should have had his back, let him take the fall alone. If you believe the headlines, William is the future of a modern monarchy. But scratch the surface, and what you see is a carefully curated media machine masking a cold, politically driven operation. Every public move is calculated: the off-duty dad photos, the Kensington Palace videos edited to perfection, the carefully staged visits to homeless shelters and schools. They all feed into a narrative. William the relatable, William the reformist, William the family man. But where's the substance? His homelessness initiative, Homewards, has drawn headlines, but critics argue it's a PR stunt with unclear goals. His climate push through Earthshot is ambitious, but often overshadows his silence on other urgent issues like press ethics and institutional racism. William appears more concerned with optics than real change. And the biggest proof: his refusal to address the family fracture. A true leader would seek resolution. A real reformer would confront the dysfunction. William, however, continues to ignore the elephant in the room, pretending Harry never existed, because it's easier than admitting the system failed him. Prince William's journey to the throne is paved with polish, but it's missing heart. And in the long run, that will be his downfall. You cannot build a compassionate monarchy on cruelty. You cannot unite a nation while dividing your family. You cannot inspire hope while erasing those who dared to speak truth. Harry was supposed to be his brother's keeper. Instead, he became William's cautionary tale, a symbol of what happens when you step out of line, when you challenge the silence, when you break from tradition. But maybe Harry isn't the cautionary tale. Maybe William is. A man who could have redefined kingship as empathetic, inclusive and forgiving, but instead chose to protect the throne at all costs, even if it meant abandoning the one person who truly understood what it meant to be a royal son. As king, William may wear the crown, but if he continues down this path, it will sit atop a hollow institution, one that prioritizes power over people, hierarchy over humanity. So here we are. The world watches as Prince William prepares to inherit the crown. But what are we really inheriting with him? A monarchy that punishes honesty, a family that trades loyalty for silence, a future king who exiles his own brother to protect the illusion of unity? Prince Harry may be thousands of miles away, but his absence isn't just felt. It's the proof that this royal family under William's leadership is more about image than integrity. This isn't a modernization. It's a moral regression. A monarchy that silences the only member who dared to speak the truth is not one to celebrate. And a king who can't find forgiveness for his own brother isn't fit to lead a diverse, dynamic and modern Britain. Thank you for watching Meghan and Harry Tales. I'm Adrian, and I'll see you next time for more royal insight, honesty and the side of the story the palace doesn't want you to hear. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, because this tale, it's far from over. Would you like me to generate a title, thumbnail description and video description to match this script?